today for St. Thomas. I have a number of readings that kind of speak to me personally, but St. Thomas is another one of those that speak very personally to me because he kind of echoed who I was. Okay, so now Christ comes, but Thomas is not there. So the disciples tell him, his friends, who he's been hanging around with, and he's trusted in, and he having been with now Christ. So they come back, or Thomas comes back, and he says, hey, so what's up? I mean, that's not what's written here, but right? But he says, we have seen the Lord. And so what's his answer? His answer is not, hey, wow, that's great. I can't believe he truly is the Messiah. He has come back. But what's his answer? His answer is the answer that I gave for many, many years of my life. And unfortunately, it is the answer that we do have a lot of people that give. That the answer that many people give. Unless I see his hands, and unless I place my hand right on his side, very clear, I will not believe. He is looking for scientific evidence that this is the risen Christ. All right. And because it's in here now, this must mean then that doubt is not something that is alien to our faith. Or they wouldn't have put it in here. They would have wrote something like, Thomas said, please, I need to see Jesus Christ so that I can worship him. Why would they have written this? This is to show then that there are then those that, like myself growing up, that needed much more scientific evidence and proof. Not understanding that the apex of science is faith. Because many times science will answer and say, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. Okay, we have faith that we will come up with an answer to COVID. We believe that there is something that will cure polio. Okay, there was no definitive. And the scientists said, unless I see this cure for polio actually working, I'm not going to believe that you've got something there, that you have some type of remedy or you have some type of ailment. Okay, and so what was Jesus' answer to Thomas? Because Jesus is there. And Thomas is saying, unless I see it, okay, Jesus obviously as Lord knows this, right? So does he rebuke him? I mean, we got plenty of examples where Jesus Christ has rebuked his disciples for their unbelief and said, how much longer do I have to really endure this? And here's Thomas coming out and saying, I got to touch you before I can believe it. I mean, he's right out saying, I got to touch it. And Jesus' answer is what? He says to Thomas here, Fere to dactylon su edo. And fere. So he's saying, put your hand here on my hand. It's not asking, he's saying, you want to believe? Touch. And he says, don't be faithless, but believe. If science is what needs you to believe, then don't be faithless. Come and touch me and get your scientific evidence that you need to prove now that I am who I say I am. I am the risen Christ. Now, all we have is the answer that Thomas gives. My Lord and my God. We have no evidence that Thomas touched him. And in fact, if you look at the icons of Thomas, they do not show him touching Christ. So we don't even know whether or not he touched them. But the important point is not, did he touch him or did he not touch him? This is not the important. The important point here, which was the important point for me, was the answer. The answer was, my Lord and my God. So, can you doubt in any faith? And let's speak specifically about the Christian faith. Can you doubt? Absolutely. Is it heretical to doubt? No. Does it mean that you don't have faith? No. You can doubt, and you can do what I did, which is examine all of the evidence. But at some point, You must take the lesson from Thomas, because Thomas then made a decision. He had the evidence in front of him, and he made a decision, and he said, "You are God." And our journey has to end at some point. You cannot, from personal experience, you cannot be a restless soul that wanders aimlessly throughout your entire life. You have to make a decision. Now, that decision is, he is Lord and God, or he is not. There's your choices. But to wander in this ether of, I don't know, I'm going to keep searching, and again, hey, I'm the first to tell you, I'm a child of the 70s, I had to go through, I'm okay, you're not okay, primal scream, I'm finding myself, what's the other one about Me Too, that I've got to, I'm okay, so it's all about me or me first or something like that. So I've lived through all of that. I'm a seeker. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. Okay, great. Go and seek. It's great. But at some point, the example that we take from Thomas is that we must come with an answer. And that answer for me was my Lord and my God.